Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sound Off, where you get a chance to be part of the conversation on everything sports. Tweet us your questions and comments using the hashtag Sunday Sound Off. I had to drag these three away from their grill, their hot dogs, their pretzels, and their beer today. Soren, look at them. They're laughing, but they ain't happy, okay? Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 WHB, and the program 10 to 2. How are you there, Soren?
I'm doing well, Frank. And actually what you dragged me away from was a first grade diving competition that included some of the most incredibly executed flips you've ever seen in your life.
Okay. You owe me then. Okay, Cody Tapp, Sports Night on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Hi, Cody. How are you?
Good, Frank. Actually, you don't know him. What he's failing to mention that he was the bookkeeper for that first grade diving competition. And so he's got to hand the books off, and it's kind of a mess. But at the very least, you know, someone will keep track of it for him, I'm sure.
Well, at least your little kid had the Duff Monster uniform on today there, Cody. So there we go.
$50 max bets, by the way.
Yes,
$50.
Right. Stan Weber, of course, Sports Radio 810, football analyst. Also, K-State football and basketball analyst. How you doing, Stan?
I'm doing well. This is supposed to be a hard day of work for us. But then I watched Scott Dixon's wreck on your highlights earlier, and I said, there's nothing tough about this as he's flying through the air at over 200 miles an hour. I'm glad there are engineers around the world who are keeping us safe, but a lot of smart people. This is not bad at all.
You're absolutely right. Okay, gentlemen, here's our hot topics of the evening. Which Royals player will not be here on August the 1st? And what's your take on Eric Berry, Marcus Peters, and Justin Houston missing the OTAs? And number 3, KU fans love these questions, by the way. Will Mizzou basketball live up to its off-season hype? Why you keep talking about Mizzou? Talk about our Kansas Jayhawks. But first, our question of the week. You ready? Do you believe the Royals can turn this season around and contend? Really? Soren, do you believe it?
Well, you know, Frank, and your brilliance, and trust me, I use that term loosely. Your brilliance is always in how you write the questions. And can they turn it around? Well, can they turn around? Yes, they can turn it around. This is a team that, look, I do think we as Royals fans and we as the media that covers the Kansas City Royals need to acknowledge and give credit to this team for having a championship caliber, championship pedigree, a championship heart. They've been there and they've done that. So, yes, they absolutely can. And I don't think we as, you know, a fan base should be writing them off. You know, a lot of times, you know, the big competition at the bar, you know, sitting there with a couple of Coronas in front of you is who can be the most negative, who can be down on the team the most, and that somehow makes you, you know, a more intelligent fan. Look, this team can turn itself around because they've had great stretches of baseball before. I think for me, though, the question is, will they? And the answer to that is no. They're a little bit older. They're too dependent upon the home run. The bullpen's not as good. The starting pitching has not been healthy long enough. So, no, I think they've dug too big a hole. And while they did pick up a game on the Cleveland Indians, which is the team that I think ultimately you've got to beat, I think they've just spotted the field too much of a lead. And I just don't think the Indians are going to come back. I think this is an 80 to 85 win team, and I don't think the Indians are going to play their way down. So, no, I don't think they can come back. And I think once we get to the draft, you'll see Dayton Moore start to chop this team up. I think right now they're focusing on the draft, and after that, they'll focus on the trades, and I think you'll see guys moving.
Cody.
I think again, technically, yes. But what Soren mentioned, catching up with the Cleveland Indians, which everyone still thinks is the team to catch, they are still behind 4 teams in the Central, not just the Indians. And had they won this game today, they'd have been 2.5 games back of the Indians and had a justification. The problem with the Royals right now is every time they give you a little hope, as in 2 come-from-behind victories against the Indians, they put up some dud. And it's not just a game. It's a game in which they lose 10-1 and their ace pitcher gets shelled. And a couple with it, all the problems with the team kind of show themselves again. You know, defensively an issue, or Travis Wood coming back in, so the offseason signings showing their ugly head again, and impatient hitting and all the things that kind of go with the Royals. Can is a very slim margin. This team's down to the point that they're going to have 2 20-10 stretches. One now, where they go 20-10, and then one other stretch where they go 20-10, and 500 baseball to go with it. The odds of them at this point, I don't see any way. And I think they're probably a hair less than maybe what Soren says, maybe an 81-win team. And if they start selling off parts, maybe less. They're close, and they're closer than they are in a lot of other years of the Royals, but it's just not quite good enough. Too many signings that didn't work out in the offseason.
Stan.
Well, you want to have hope. And right when you think you're going to, like Cody said, they pull the rug right from out out from underneath you. Now they're 21-28, not good enough. And I thought that every time that they take one step forward, they keep taking two backwards, and it's demoralizing. And maybe we're overreacting to today's action, but I thought maybe there's a little momentum. You go on the road, you're playing Cleveland, a team you believe that you're chasing. You win 2 games, nice job, and you have Danny Duffy going out on the mound, who's pitched well 2 straight times against the Yankees. And yet the Royals get bombed. He doesn't look good and doesn't last very long. And here we go again. Yeah, it's 2 steps forward and 1 back in this series. And if you continue to win series, you'll have a chance. But it's hard to believe that they're really going to get it done. The hope that they have that they can come back is obviously the fact that in American League, no one's running away in the American League Central. So you're not too far out of the race. And even for a wild card, you have a chance. But as of right now, I don't think it's probably going to happen. I just don't see the consistency, don't see the spark. And a lot of things that Soren talked about we're yearning to see from this ball club, but something's missing. They used to have the magic, they used to have the belief, and it just doesn't seem like they're getting it together this year.
All right, up next, our hot topics. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.